Yes, it is that time again. It is Wednesday. It is noon Eastern time. Of course, it means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show, as the name suggests. I'm, of course, Joe Claire. He is Beach. You can find us many places all over Google, of course, Beach. Hemptations.com, planeteverywhere.com for the online orders, Hemptations.com for the stores, the locations, all of that good stuff. As far as the show itself, of course, you know, if you're a long time listener. If not, I'll run it down for you. Video, live, Hemptations Beach Facebook page, Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and on Twitter at Hemptations. Video on demand and live. That's not good enough for you. You don't like the video, you just want the audio, you just want the sound. We can do that as well. Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show on any of those platforms to find us. Beach, how are things high above the hemp quarters in Sharonville?
I have to say, I'm feeling pretty jazzy right now. I
Ah,
just finished watching The Emperor of Hemp, the Jack Hare story. I had never watched it. It was put out in 2004, but and I don't know why I hadn't thought about doing this before, but I finally decided to search Amazon Prime for hemp, and of course, all the documentaries popped up. And so, if you have Amazon Prime, um, go check out. I mean, there are multiple documentaries that have been made over the years. A lot more probably in the last two or three, is from what I'm seeing, but there are plenty out there. Um, and of course, Jack is my hero at the very least. He educated more people on cannabis than any other human. He changed the world of cannabis for all of us, for the better. And he was just an amazing human. And I miss. He did his part before he passed. There's no doubt about it. But he was still just as vocal as he could be when he needed to be. Um, before he passed, and so we miss his voice, but it's still out there. Go watch The Emperor of Hemp. Go read The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Right there's it sits right behind me. It's just a copy of the original one that I had purchased in the early '90s, which basically sent me on my hemp journey. Without a doubt, just like thousands and thousands of people when it came to hemp. He did the research on uh, medicinal, and it was a little bit of everything. But when it came to actual hemp, the time that he put in for the research once again, and then educating the public, and changing the just the mindset of what hemp was related to what cannabis for personal use or medicinal use, or whatever you want to call that is. Um, and he will be forever in my ear, as I am forever going to sit here and talk about how great hemp is, and again why you know it is what it is, and why we should grow it for, if we want to grow it for a hemp byproduct purpose other than CBD. We should not care how much THC is in it. Other than CBD, I understand how with the CBD you may be concerned about the THC because maybe you don't want that to get the relief of CBD. 100% understand it. But as I've been talking about most of this year, it seems like, because again, the laws are passed, the USDA has done their thing, but we need to continue to move forward, because the 0.3% THC limit on, say, if you're growing for fiber, is kind of ridiculous. To be honest with you, the 0.3% if you're growing for seed oil is quite ridiculous. There's no THC in the seed oil, so I don't, if it wouldn't matter there either. The only time, I think, honestly, the only time that it really matters is if you were planning on eating the flower, or once again growing for CBD. And so we're not quite to the hemp salad part of all this, although I have talked about, when it did pass, I remember having a conversation um, with a young lady about sprouts. And I was like, it's a great idea. Hemp seed sprouts, again, should be nutritionally valuable. I would think for sure. And then I have been seeing hemp leaf salad. Um, again, I don't think the leaf, and I don't remember the last time I might have even tasted a leaf. I don't know what kind of taste it would have. And so, I don't know what kind of nutritional value you get there. There's not much, honestly, nutritional value in any leafy green, other than it is good roughage, or like spinach, and some of those do have some nutrients that are valuable. So hemp leaf may have some nutrients that are valuable. And again, that would be the only reason you might worry about your THC. And again, that would just be on the outside of the leaf. So if it was washed, there would be no THC in the leaf itself. It would just be what's on the outside of a flower, if it did have THC in it anyway. Just like the seed. If the seed is cleaned, there's no THC. That's how that scientifically breaks down. And the more proof I believe that we see of that, which someone does need to do a study to prove that, so we can go to the military, and we can go to the fire departments and the police departments, and we can here's scientific proof that eating hemp seed or any of the hemp seed byproducts can have THC in them. To be honest with you, because the numbers, although could be there, would be minuscule. Again, we're talking the same amount of acceptable whatever gross stuff, parts per million, not 0.3% THC in the seeds. We're talking about parts per million, is how that would show up. And to do some studies on that would be great, because the military's stance on hemp right now is ridiculous, as I talked about last week. And so, we need more pudding, as they say. So, and it's coming. It is definitely coming, because studies are getting done at universities now, which is great. Again, these are because the federal laws on hemp specifically have changed. We're going to see a lot of studies on hemp for all things. And so, if you're at a university, go talk to your agriculture department about doing a study on THC crossover in hemp seed or the leaves or whatever, because that would be fun data to acquire. And so, do it. I say do it. I do want to say that it was interesting that I watched, and I don't know why I've been thinking about Jack a lot recently, but there was one thing that I did learn that I never knew the specific date of, and that was that the original Marijuana Tax Act was signed into law on August 3rd, 1937. So that would have been Monday of this week, however many years ago that was. So 80-something years ago. August 3rd was 83 years ago. Thanks for doing the math. And so, obviously, we are moving forward, but we're not there yet. I mean, the Marijuana Tax Act started the controlled substance, and federally speaking, guess what's still on the controlled substance list? Cannabis. Not cannabis for hemp, or hemp cannabis, I should say, I guess. We can refer to it like that. But anything with more than 0.3% THC is still on the controlled substance list. 83 years later, after the Marijuana Tax Act, which became the controlled substance list in 1970, which is when the Marijuana Tax Act was then repealed, actually, so they could pass the Controlled Substance Act, where they changed the spelling of marijuana as well, just so you know. A little bit of history, all kinds of stuff going on in the first segment of this show here today. By the way, thanks everyone for viewing. I just kind of jumped right in. Jack gets me excited no matter what. Just kind of jumped right into that without even saying hello and hi to everyone watching. Thank you for watching live, wherever you are watching live. Thank you for watching later wherever you are watching later or listening to later, if it is the podcast that you are so inclined to get your
Indeed.
High Noon Hemp Show from. Let's jump right into the old product spotlight. The first one is a product that we don't think about a whole lot, I don't really think, but it's the CB Lux mouth spray. And so basically, it's just like a mint spray. I would say that, I probably didn't focus on it too much before because obviously you get the CBD transderm or sublingually when you use something like a spray, but they're also coming out and talking about how CBD or hemp may be good for tooth decay too. And so, as far as protecting your teeth and gums, as well as getting the CBD running through you pretty quickly. Again, sublingually is one of the fastest ways, under the tongue or in the mouth. It's one of the fastest ways to get it into your system. And so this is just a little spray. I think there's an unflavored and even like a mint, so you can freshen up the breath if you need to. Not that anybody's going out, or if you're smart, you're not really going out and you don't care if your breath is bad because you're probably just sitting at home.
I did see a commercial
But anyway,
yesterday from one of the gum companies talking about mask breath. So I guess that's a thing now.
so of
there
course
you
it
go.
is.
Yeah.
Well, of course it is. How could it not be?
Yes, people are very conscious now of their breath. I forget which gum company it was, but it was one of them saying, hey, basically, chew gum with your mask so you don't have mask breath.
For genius. The marketing of COVID.
That's right.
Marketing of COVID. Well, we're kind of getting into it this week, actually, in the product spotlight, so stay tuned.
Hey.
We have the next one is the that's right, Greenfield Paper Company Journal. This is, if you're sitting around and you're writing a lot, or maybe you're even a student, and you're at home doing your student stuff and you need a notebook. We've got the good old Greenfield Paper Company, been around forever, since we opened, probably almost. I think they're close to the same year. I know I need to freshen up some of the stores. I have noticed, again, I've been working in the store, so I need to freshen up their inventory on some of the Greenfield Paper Company. So I'll be doing an order soon enough if you need some fresh paper wherever you may be. Maybe even try to get those on the website after I get the next order in, so you can get them from anywhere. Now, I think you can go to their website and order them, so please do that. If you need any Greenfield Paper Company supplies, go to their website, because you can probably get them from them until you can get them from us. The next one we just got, I know I focused on this not too long ago, but we just got a fresh batch in, and that's the hacky sacks. And so they're basically three different styles, I would say. You've got what's called the Sir Hemp, which I guess has sand in it. And they are kind of really soft. And then you've got the dirt bag. I can't believe that there's really dirt in there, so I'm not really sure what's inside the dirt bag. I don't really want to say. The outer part is obviously hemp. And then you've got the those are, I think, around $9. And then you've got the $5 version, which is what I call the Guatemalan hacky sack. I don't know why, field in Guatemala, maybe. The weave. And those are usually pretty solid. Those are kind of more solid when it comes to the sack of hack. My brother was a hacky sack dude. I remember his friends standing around, oh my God, doing the hacky sack thing. I never really got into it because I feel like it's the same excuse I use for my upper body. My left foot my whole left side might as well be connected to a different body, because I can't get it. I can't seem to get my right hand, my right foot even. I got all the coordination in the world. But I really, that was something that, once again, I know I've talked about athletically when it came to basketball. Or even track, honestly, with doing some of the track stuff, because I did long jump, but I was not a very good triple jumper, but I was a pretty decent long jumper when I stepped that out right. But again, it was just like, if both feet were involved, it wasn't as good. When I ski, I couldn't do slalom skiing. I had to have skis on both feet, and then I was right foot dominant either way. But anyway, Um, and so if you're a hacky sacker, your feet comply, or maybe you're just really good with one foot. I think some people are. Then there's a fresh batch in prime season for hacky sacking. It's true. This one is not a hemp product, but it does have hemp leaves on it, and it is appropriate. Um, it is the hemp leaf mask. They're very cheap. I think we're selling them for $4.20. We are going to get some hemp masks in. I'm still working on that. I just emailed one company that had some, and I still need to get with some other companies. But these came available, and I thought, I think our customers would love to support the hemp movement with the good old hemp leaf mask.
Sure.
And so, although non-hemp, those are available or will be available in all the locations by Friday. So that's usually when stuff gets out there if you want to get yourself a cheap hemp leaf mask. Not that, once again, they are all over the internet. This is, I was just joking again. And who can know? Unless you're some type of really like genius, or you can see the future. 6 months ago, you bought stock in mask company.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you'd be sitting pretty right now due to COVID. We got another 6 months of this stuff too. I'm pretty sure of it. And so now we're in the fashionable. Mary and I were talking about this. We're in the fashionable stage, I do believe, of the masks. And so, now we're going to start seeing bags that match masks, and get a T-shirt and a mask that match and whatnot. And so we're going to still work on just getting some plain hemp masks in, I think, as well. The one from my door, as I like to say in the product spotlight, four from the store, one from my door, is one that I don't use a whole lot, but I'd almost kind of forgotten about because I don't use a whole lot because Mary does most of the cooking and grilling, is my hemp apron. You can see, I guess with my hands, you just imagine like a spatula and maybe some tongs
Yes.
in my
Photoshop
hand.
some
I'm
stuff in
the
there.
grill. Yeah, do not, please don't Photoshop stuff in my hands, public. I love all of you, but let's not make that a trend. Let's not make that go viral.
Make a
They
contest.
said put some stuff in his hands. They said put some stuff in his hands, so we did. Has to be hemp related. Anyway, but you can, it has been used used it quite a bit years ago, and again, I'm pretty sure this is an old Ecolution hemp apron, and so it's probably 20 years old. It's got some stains on the front if you look closely enough, but that's just another fine item from my personal inventory. One from my door, as I like to say. When I want to do some grilling. So there you have it, folks. The product spotlight on the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Beach. That is Joe. This is now what Joe likes to believe.
That's right. That's what I tell myself.
The greatest segment on all of anything.
The apron is a good segue into the fashion part
Kinda
of
is.
the mask and then the apron. We're talking fashion. Fashion, of course, is a big part of this show, specifically hemp fashion, which brings us to the beachwear segment, where we ask a very important question and you get a very important answer. And it is, what are you wearing beach?
It's blue again this week. So, if you are that curious, you really need to know. That's why you tune in every week.
That's right.
What are you wearing, Beach? Well, I'm doing blue again this week. It just worked out that way. I'm actually going down to Lexington. And if you don't know, I'm a big fan of the Wildcats. But my hat is that's a fair hemp hat. One of my favorite hats. I really liked wearing this. This hat in particular because it's kind of a knock on the Ford symbol because Henry Ford built a hemp car, if you don't know. My shirt was personally made for me by one of my salespeople, my dude at Cumulus Radio. Got to give him props. I actually got the shirt in the store and then had all this printed on it. And so 95, if you don't know, that was the year we opened. Hemptucky is a reference to me loving Kentucky. The back actually says Hemptations. And then the leaf that's up there is the leaf that has all the products, all the various byproducts of hemp. And although the symbol does in fact look like a Nike symbol, the end is actually supposed to be gone. This was actually on the window in the Oxford store because it was a shoe store and there was a Nike, but we tip off and made it look like a handpipe. And so that's a little trickery I did that still kind of lives in infamy, I suppose. I've got my Hempies belt because my Prana shorts, I've been staying fit and working out, are a little loose on me. My Green Springs Technology pen sitting in my pocket there if you look closely. My camouflage I Love Bad briefs. I call them camouflage because I put them on natural, and they are natural, which is almost the same with my Oasis no-shows, which are just a little tad blue if you look closely. And the Saucony Jazz to finish it all up. And if you don't know and you'd like to, I'm about 98% sure that the Jazz line of Sauconys are also vegan. And so enjoy that. If you're a vegan, go find yourself a pair of Saucony Jazzes or look into that. I know that I'm pretty sure it's the Jazz line because that's the one I have the most of when it comes to their hemp shoes. So there you have it, folks. If you're woke up, you're just waking up, you're just wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know.
Bam.
I'm not blue, but I'm wearing blue. We got a little bit of news, a little bit of events, not much going on in the world. Again, this week, it's just like a slow rotation of the world right now. It's kind of how it feels. It's like still going on. It just seems like it's slowed down.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was talking about doing some research. Here's a good one. The University of New Mexico released a study in May that says it was in the scientific journal Life that shows positive long-term results related to expanded use of hemp oil to treat chronic neuropathic pain. Okay. Okay. And this, I believe, is just once again hemp oil, not CBD. Hemp oil is a highly nutritional source of all kinds of things for the human body that are great for us. And again, I think that, I suppose when they say long term, again, that means daily use of a certain amount can show benefits one way or the other when it comes to neuropathic pain. And so, again, it will be interesting to see how that all plays out as far as the study and relativity and truth and whatnot. Not saying that they lied about anything, but again, you do one study can show just about anything. You do 5 studies, and 5 studies will probably get the truthful results. Because, that's just my opinion when it comes, especially to things like this, but science, period, although you can prove a lot of things with one scientific study. But, I think that multiple people proving the same thing adds validity to that for sure. This is kind of fun. The chef, there were a lot of complaints the first weekend from the NBA bubble people. And if you don't know what's going on with the NBA, the National Basketball Association, the professional players, they have put themselves in a bubble, so to speak, in Disneyland or Disney World in Florida. And that's where they have to stay and do everything, live, and play the games. And so, which is great. I'm glad they're playing. They said they would never play not in front of fans, but they are playing not in front of fans. Thanks. I'm pretty sure there's no fans there. I think if it was them, I know baseball is doing, you can do like cutouts, so you can pay for a cutout and they'll go put it in a seat, which I do think is brilliant. Honestly, I think that's just a great idea. I know you can do that in the Red Stadium with the, there was something so that is kind of fun. But anyway, the first weekend or so that they were there, they were getting served like boxed food and like food, that was pre-cooked or whatever brought in, I think. So there was some issues. But the chef that they did bring in, and I don't think I didn't put it. I should have mentioned his name. But he actually, I read that he served a romaine salad with hemp seeds on it. And so I thought that was pretty cool that, this guy's aware enough to give these athletes some food that they need. And I think he was trying to go mostly vegetarian that day's menu, even though I did see meat on the menu as well. But that was the salad, was a romaine salad with hemp seeds on it. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Again, we're seeing a lot of athletes not just jump on the CBD bandwagon, but actually understanding the hemp. Especially fighters. I've seen fighters adding hemp seed to their diet. Again, the protein is, unbelievable for any athlete. And so, again, we are definitely going to hear or see, and it's always fun to hear when some athlete comes out with their diet. You'll see it every once in a while, and then at some point or another, you'll see hemp seed on there if they're smart. No, I'm not calling the ones that don't use hemp seed dumb. They just don't know. So let's educate them. Let's make them better athletes through hemp. I love it. Last piece of news, which is big for Northwest Arkansas. Let me tell you that. Good Hemp Fizz, which we do carry these drinks here in the stores. Good Hemp Fizz and Canna Hemp are both drinks. They're made by Good Hemp Inc. They just got a big contract with premium brands of Northwest Arkansas to sell their hemp drinks. And again, no, the Hemp Fizz is CBD, but I'm not sure that the Canna Hemp is. I might have to look into that. I feel like the Canna Hemp just has hemp oil. I feel like the Good Hemp line does, in fact, have CBD in it. So they have both. But apparently 11 counties in Northwest Arkansas are going to get educated on some hemp drinks. And we sell a lot of hemp drinks these days, honestly. I'm kind of blown away. We sell a lot here. We sell a lot in the Northside store. I think as soon as I have an actual glass front right now, a lot of the stores except for here are just a regular refrigerator. But as soon as I get a glass front door for most of the stores, I think we'll start selling even more drinks, whether they have CBD in them or they just have hemp in them. Either way. And so good stuff. A little bit of events. Again, not much going on in the world across the world, period, honestly. End of September, the 24th and the 26th, if you want to fly to Vienna, Austria, you've got the Hemp Expo, if it's still going on. And again, I always, these days, always check first with the actual event. Don't take my word for it. Because I could announce something today that would get canceled tomorrow. You know that. Everyone knows that. No matter where you live in the world, you know that. October 6th and 7th, you've got the Rad Expo going on in Las Vegas. I suppose if you're going to get out, that would be as good a reason as any, although I am not going to Vegas.
No.
I don't care how many hemp masks I'm wearing. But if you're thinking about getting into cannabis retail, the theme for Rad Expo is where the future of cannabis retail begins. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of focus on CBD, but hopefully they may have some focus on other hemp products too. We can only hope if you want to get out. Locally, not too far away, October 10th, you've got the Kentucky Hemp and CBD Trade Show going on in Frankfort, Kentucky. Again, if it has not been canceled, and we probably don't know, I'm sure that's probably still going on. That's October. So we at least got a couple more months, to see how all this goes. I do know that Kentucky is actually crossed the threshold and on the way down, possibly. I don't know. I don't know what all that means anyway, because now exponentially we've got just lines and lines and lines of people getting tested. Yeah. And so, I think that even if we have more positive results, that doesn't mean that the dire negative is going to happen. We just have more people with it. Just like some years we have more people with the flu, and some years the flu kills more people. Now, I'm not trying to make any light of COVID. Don't take me wrong. I mean, this thing is pretty serious to those that it affects. And that's why I think we should all respect it for that matter. Just like we should all be washing our hands every day, especially during flu season. You know what I mean? Don't sneeze on people. Don't
Yeah.
cough on people.
Don't
Try to
breathe on
avoid
people.
breathing on people for
Yeah.
that matter. Yeah,
Seems
honestly, I mean, again,
unnecessary.
I mean, that's how I kind of live my daily life because I don't want to get anything, and if I have something, I don't want to pass it on. Anyway, this definitely may change the reality of that on a daily basis for some people. Not saying we're going to wear masks every day for the rest of our lives. I'm just saying I think that this may make more people conscious of the fact that yes, we should be washing our hands if we want to stay healthy. I mean that we learned that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we should, if you gave it up, don't. It's a good thing. Um, and then again, everything else is next year. And so, NOCO is playing for Denver in March, end of March, and then they did do Southern Expo has a date for next year. That would have normally been going on this month, the Southern Hemp Expo, but of course they canceled that pretty early, which was smart. Again, people don't need to be going out; they just don't. They don't. They needed to stay at home, watch the High Noon Hemp Show, get caught up on some High Noon Hemp shows. They're all on the Jedi Hemp channel on YouTube, and so check them out. And, as always, check out Hemptations.com or Planet Everywhere. That's our retail site. There is a link at Hemptations.com right at the beginning that says Shop Online if you want to check out what products we have online, so to speak. And happy Hemp Wednesday. I've never said that before. I don't know why I said that now, but, I've always been, everybody does, when anybody does the Hump Day, I always do a Hemp Day. Even though that is never going to take off. Hemp Day. Although I should do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to somehow do a mock Hemp Day commercial like the old Hump Day commercials with the camel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's kind of what made that big. Not that they invented Hump Day. They just made it funny to say, if nothing else. And those commercials with the camel. And again, I think from the very beginning, my brain turned that into Hemp Day right out of the gate. It's just one letter. That's all. So anyway, happy Hemp Day to everyone. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
I know this is how we normally end the show, but I wanted to ask you before we get off the air if you wanted to announce the winner of the
I'm
YouTube
so
contest.
I forgot to put that down. Thank you so much. I promised today would be the day. And it was Victoria Khan, right? Is that right?
Indeed.
Yes. I've actually known Victoria for quite a while. I believe originally, I think we worked. I don't know if we worked together, but it was the Ohio Rights Group. Originally, when I say work together, like personally, she's in a whole different part of the state. But anyway, congratulations for winning the High Noon Hemp Show YouTube contest. I will get with you directly within the next couple days to work out how to get you your prize and to personalize your prize one way or another. So congratulations to Victoria Khan for winning the YouTube High Noon Hemp contest. I'll say it again. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
See y'all next week.